Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity, you crazy people. My name is Jay and today I'm just going to be talking about a new article that FFG have released for Boba Fett. Now I don't normally do these kind of videos because in the articles generally you don't get like too much. It's normally just a card here and there, and to be fair, that is the same. But I just want to talk about why Boba Fett is very important to the Imperials. But we'll get on that at the end, hopefully, if I remember. As you know me, that's always possible. So let's just have a look at the article as a whole. As I said, there's not too much new here. The only thing I think that is new is his 3-pip card. But possibly also his 1-pip. Without going back and have a look at the old articles, I couldn't say. Just to go over his card again, he's 140 points, jump 2, speed 3, arsenal 2, which will be important. That bounty thing is always very interesting. We've got clarification how that works in the rule update. He has to be the person who kills him. Still, he's pretty good against characters because of that impervious rule. Sharpshooter 2, 3 weapons on his card, both offensive and defensive surges, 1 to crit. No, yeah, so we can have a look at his cards basically. Let's have a look at we already know. Well, we'll go through each one because we've got access to it all. So the flame projector here, we already knew this. Blast and spray. I like the fact that you can do it in melee. I just find that like if you try and tie him up with a melee unit, he's prone to just blasting you in the face with the spray as well. So that's pretty interesting. And I think that the new one here is, I think, the jetpack rocket, but we'll go and look at his whip-lord launcher first because I think we've sort of already seen this one. You can perform moves while engaged with a unit, so basically you can move out of combat if you wanted to during Boba Fett's activation during this. Just keep in mind he is an operative, I didn't mention that. Choose an enemy trooper at unit range 1 and in line of sight, gains 2 immobilized tokens and 2 suppression tokens. Fine. As I said, he is an operative, so you will have to take a normal commander. So in probably the Imperial case, Vader would probably be on the expensive side, so you're more likely to run Vias and Boba. So the one that we didn't necessarily have a proper look at is the jetpack rocket, I believe. So he gains this as a following weapon. It's range 3 to 4, 3 red dice, blast and impact 2, which is all in all pretty decent. And they talk about some of the combos, and that's what really intrigues me here with Boba Fett. Like he's like a Swiss Army knife. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He can do like so many different things. Possibly not as well as like Luke. Like Luke can just he's so powerful, but he's got more tools than that, if that makes sense. So he's more utility. And it talks here how like you could imagine him wiping out a troop, because if you put his flame projector here, so which has got blast and spray, if you combine that maybe with his carbine, well, you'd have the amount of rules in that one would be crazy. One, you'd be getting blast, so it'd ignore cover. Spray means you get the red dice for every single model that you're attacking. So if it's an infantry unit of say 6 models, you'd be out 6 red dice. That's already pretty decent. 2, as long as you're not in melee, they'll ignore cover because you've got blast. You'll get sharpshooter 2. So like it would probably ignore the cover anyway. You'll have Pierce 1 if you do it with the cannon rather than the rocket, which means you'll cancel one of the blocks. All in all, very powerful. And there's other like combos like that. Like you could even, if you're at range 3, you could even combine the jetpack rocket launcher maybe with the Fett's his carbine again, maybe against a speeder bike. Pretty decent. I mean, the impact wouldn't necessarily do anything, but you'd at least negate the cover by default, cancel one of the blocks, and they only have white dice. So there's just a lot of combinations here that I think you can pull with Boba Fett, which the Imperials haven't necessarily had. Like Vias has been the most support-like character, and even he's not as maneuverable, he's not as strong in combat. He does only have 5 wounds, 3 courage, so he is, if you focus, you can probably focus him down, but the way you'd have to play Boba Fett is almost certainly keep him hidden until you're ready to attack, basically. Or it's not that you keep him hidden from everybody, because you're obviously going to want to shoot, but you want to keep him so he can't be focused down. That's the goal. He's 140 points. That speed 3 and jump 2 is fantastic. It really adds that maneuverability to the Imperials that only really the speeder bikes give them at the moment. And he should be decent in combat as well. With that impervious, he will add additional defense dice, which should be pretty good against characters. So maybe even Luke might not just murder him in one, so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I just feel like it's much needed. The rocket launcher fine, the whipcord fine, the flame projector, it's all very flavorful. Boba Fett's one of my favorites. There's no lying about it. I just really like him. Whether or not I will then ditch Vader is a question I am still trying to think of the answer for. Like, I love Vader, there's no doubt about it, but at 200 points, then like with his upgrades and stuff like that, if you add Boba Fett, you're already 340, probably 350. You're nearly half your army, and you're not gonna have much else. So I don't think. I mean, I don't see the list being Boba and Darth Vader. I think Darth Vader might get a bit more interesting when you come to the turrets. Because then you can sort of just put one of the turrets on one of the sides and maneuver Vader into the side where you want the action to take place. But I think Boba Fett's basically just going to get added to Vias, and the Imperials will have that as an option as well as the Trooper spam and Speeder spam. You'll be able to do Vias and Boba Fett. And it's just exciting to see because he's very flavorful and I like him. And I think it's sort of needed as soon as possible. Like Han, and he's obviously he's not the same as Leia, right? No, obviously, but the Luke Leia combination is really, really good because Luke gets in your face and Leia like supports your units. And for the Imperials, the list that's really good is Vias, loads of troopers, 3 speeder bikes, and it's like it's great, but is that really like a great fun list? Maybe not. The speeder bikes can be a little bit oppressive, and it's just trooper spam basically, isn't it? And I like adding in Boba Fett when we get the Commando release as well. Obviously they'll be at the same time. They're scheduled for Q3, which is imminent. Probably the end of September, but who knows. Yeah, like when you're making a list, when Boba's out, it feels like you've got a lot more options, and I really like that. Whereas Palpatine, I can't work out Palpatine because he's slow at the same time, but he's also more supporting. He has like more abilities, so I think Palpatine could be interesting. Again, I think if you're going to run these expensive characters, you're probably only going to run the one. You're not going to really run 2 in that case. But yeah, that's Boba Fett. I'm happy about it. Really happy for the variety it brings. It's sort of, I wish it was happening quicker, but it's still sort of happening quite quick. It's still like once a month, so I can't really complain too much. But yeah, there we have it. So an article, I don't normally do these on stuff that we've already seen because we've already seen it, but I just wanted to talk about Boba Fett because I haven't done for a little while. So that's that. If you like this video, do like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you to everybody who supports me on Patreon. There'll be a link there for anybody who's considering that. I do really appreciate that. Thank you to them. That's it, y'all. Have a most beautiful day. Goodbye. Bye.